Hi, everybody. Pastor Jason back with you once again for another Wednesday reflection. Well, the wedding week is over and everything went incredibly well. Even though everything has changed greatly during this 2020 COVID year, we were blessed to have a wonderful wedding, bride and groom, and of course, so many people watching, along with some of our closest family being able to be here as well. It truly was a memorable day, one we will never forget. And we're thankful to God that Nathan and Lauren are now husband and wife. As I come to you this day, there's a lot on my heart. We continue during this difficult time of COVID-19. And as I see things written and posted on social media, I see a lot of angst and anxiety. And so as I was looking for a text to bring before you this day, I was led to Ephesians chapter 4. I read a few portions of it for you today. I, therefore, a prisoner for the Lord, urge you to walk in a manner worthy of the calling to which you have been called, with all humility and gentleness, with patience, bearing with one another in love, eager to maintain the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. For there is one body and one Spirit, just as you were called to the one hope that belongs to your call, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is over all and through all and in all. Paul is urging the people of Ephesus to walk in a manner worthy of the Lord, always thinking about the unity that we have, brothers and sisters in Christ, with our great God. Like I said just a few minutes ago, as I look at social media and many things that are being printed and posted, it's easy for us to get upset and anxious and angry because we see things that we don't agree with from people that we know and we get along with. I know in our church here, I've told a few of our members, I wish things were better and we were back to normal, at least in terms of worship. Because people who might not agree on everything, coming to church and worshiping, gathering together as the people of God, brings that spirit one to each other. And even though there might be some disagreements about ideologies or some of their political stances, when we come together as a worshiping community, we come together as one, under the one God, in whom we've been saved by the one Savior, Jesus the Christ. I think that if we were gathering together more, people would see one another and be reminded of God's love to each of us, that we all are human, that we all are frail and make mistakes, and yet we each have value. Sometimes when we're alone or all we're doing is receiving a bunch of messages, we might depersonalize those who are listening or those to whom we are talking to, which might be any of number of people. And if we could just sit down and talk and have a conversation one with each other, I think things would be much better. And we would be able to talk out and iron out maybe even the differences, knowing our foundation is in Jesus. And that Jesus covers us all. And because of that, because he cares for us, and because we care for each other, maybe we'd be a little more kind, a little more responsible, a little more careful at the things we might say or do. As I look a little farther into chapter 4, Paul is talking about not walking anymore the way you used to when you weren't saved, when you didn't believe, when you didn't care. They are darkened in their understanding, alienated from the life of God because of the ignorance that is in them due to the hardness of heart. The devil wants us to live in ignorance of each other, to not know what someone else is thinking or feeling, to try and not understand or to listen, but just to go about your way and do your thing and say your thing without really caring about the other people as human beings. Paul writes about having humility, to not allow your heart to be hardened. There's a lot of that temptation today, because we're not gathering as we normally do. Some of you outside of Dane County are gathering and doing things, and some of us inside of Dane County, we're more restricted. And so it causes grief there too and anxiety, because why can't we do what others are doing? Or they should be doing more like us. They should be doing the things that we are, or being restricted more to be more careful. And of course, as we think about those things, that can cause us anxiety or angst, because it's not fair that others are able to do more than us, or that we're doing better, or we're trying harder, or we're caring more. All of that can break down and divide. Paul reminds us not to get in that thought, in that theory. We are one as one people, especially for us as believers in Jesus the Christ. He calls us together to look as a servant upon each other, and to look upon someone else higher than ourselves. And so as we read those posts, and as we have some angst from time to time because things aren't working out as we would want them to be, I pray we remember the Holy Spirit at work in us, the power of God that's working in you. And that when you see those things that you're not too fond of, or hear about things that don't seem to fit where you would like them to be, that you'll remember in humility and in love our great God, the care He has for you and me, and the care that we ought to have for others. Maybe then in that humility, in that understanding, we will share Christ. Paul writes, but that is not the way you learned Christ. You didn't learn Christ to be angry and to spit out spiteful things to people. God calls us to care for each other, to love each other, to understand as best as we can, and to listen. Understanding that other people are going through things that we might not even begin to imagine, just as they might not know what we're going through during this time. And over all of these things, we put on love. And we have joy, because our God is over it all. No more thief is going to steal that faith which is ours. Nothing is going to be done. Paul encourages the people to keep the truth in Christ Jesus, to be created after the likeness of God. That's a joyful heart, knowing that our great God has given us that joy in the salvation won for us by Jesus. So I encourage you, just like I encourage myself, to put off that old self that so often wants to tear us down and tear down one another, and to put on Christ, and to allow His Spirit to work in us so that we might grow in His love, in our own faith, in how we relate to others, how we converse with others, how we post so that others can see You, O Lord, living in us. I pray that's an encouragement to you. The joy that our God has given to us cannot be taken away by anything. May that confident thought be yours today and always.